Okay. And Looping Fool says station name is Skull. Drop. And when it is open, you send Skull to the radar and feed that to the depot that can send a train with interrupts to your Skull station. No? Doesn't have to match the station name. Could even have circuits at the depot that considers the contents of the train and sends the correct generic drop identifier back to the train. I think I have Fulgor train madness. I'm not sure what you're describing there, Unlooping Fool, but let me have a quick look at my train. So you're saying let's make a new interrupt, just whatever. So an interrupt condition would use circuit condition, sure. And you're saying signal parameter. When using schedule interrupt, it will match the first signal that passes all wait conditions and replaces the signal with that signal. This also replaces the rich text in the target stop name. Okay. I'm really not sure that what you're suggesting here would actually be of value to them, because they're looking for an interrupt that would be able to go to very differently named stations, and that would depend on the circuit condition. I mean, you could have a mixed drop-off station. Like, you could have, like, cargo drop-offs like this, which would then try to just go to whatever, this, and... unfortunately, I can't. I wish I could just copy this in. And then edit it, but it doesn't seem to be that way. So, it would be something like... where are we? Signal... drop off. So that would be a purely copper drop off, and then have another interrupt below it that checks for this signal, and if it's copper, like specifically looks for it if the signal is copper, then go to the station copper and iron drop off. And so first check if there is a dedicated copper station that wants it, and if not, check for the copper and iron drop-off station. Yeah, having specified that's why I was saying it's like this would work, but it kind of does away with the use of interrupts as far as I'm concerned. You can give each station a unique ID that you then send to the trains at the pickup station so they know where to go. I mean, technically, yes. But the system would need to know which train it was sending the ID to. Because that would be definitely be a tricky one. You could do it with like combinators and bit shifting if you really wanted to go that far, but I feel that is a lot further than most people would want to go. Okay, so why is there copper over there? This should absolutely not be sending any. It is not. Good. Right. At this point, I'm going to say that this is what we need more of. So, getting back to what I was doing. No, my eggs. Yoink. We want to expand out our jelly production because we are not getting jelly over here. Bit shifting monkeres. So you can effectively bury more information in a single 32-bit integer than you might otherwise need. Or rather, like, if you've got small enough integers as your the actual values that you want to be sending, you can potentially bury quite a few of those into a 32-bit integer using bit shifting. So you can effectively create a message payload that then gets decrypted at the receiving station into its individual components and then used to do things. So, for example, you could send a message to train 140 using bit shifting. A 32-bit integer can hold enormous numbers. You probably do not ever need even close to half of the size of the value a 32-bit integer can hold. So, like, if you're only dealing with hundreds, maybe even thousands with a train, a large enough train network, maybe you've got up to that kind of number of train IDs. But you could effectively send a message coded for that specific train, and other trains would ignore it because they translate it and be like, yeah, this is not my train number, ignoring it. So only one train will receive and act upon that message. But again, we're now in territory that I think the vast majority of people have no interest in getting into. Which is a shame because it's pretty cool. You can do some amazing stuff with this. But it is way more complicated than I think most people are looking for. I'm planning to do something like that with ID-based on an Ethernet style thing I saw someone do years ago, but I designed a CPU architecture in Factorio for fun, so take things a bit further than most enjoy. Yeah, no, exactly. You know, if you enjoy this sort of thing, there's a lot of stuff you can do with combinators. You can make crazy contraptions, but most people are not looking for that level of challenge, let's say. There we go, that's working a bit better now. Hawkstop said, I made a depot query all stations using the radar by looping through the station IDs, and the station then responds with all the items it wants. Yeah? Yeah, no, that could absolutely work. Right. But can you send a train to a station by station ID? Is that something you can do? Alright, anyway. We now need to run... Oh, this is why I was... waiting to do this. It is bloody annoying to have to make these belts by hand. Oh god, I just need to get a belt maul. I think that's the last thing that we're going to do today before I wrap up the stream. Let's get a belt maul up and running. Annie, thank you so much for the 94 months. Diolch yn fawr iawn. How to make auto requests on the rocket silo work? Sure. Let me just finish this quickly next row, and if chat hasn't already answered your query, then I will happily do so. I have broken my system and need to make a belt to fix it. We should see some... There we are. Beautiful, beautiful brains. I mean, jelly seeds, jelly nuts, jelly seeds. Look, it's relevant, okay. There we go. And done. Right, okay. So, to have a look at that for you. So, you need the station, or the platform rather, to have unload turned on in order to send things down to a request at a silo. The cargo landing pad. So I'm requesting all of these items. So when there is a platform in orbit that has them, it'll try to fulfill them. But if you want that the opposite way around, so from the rocket, go over to the rocket. You click on this, automatic requests from space platforms. And then you make sure that it has some requests in here, and auto request missing construction materials. That's for if while you're building it, but these are then for just general things you want it to carry with it as it's moving around. So once that's the case, you should be solid. It'll start loading things. But there are some caveats with this. If you're loading stuff into it with an inserter and you click this button, if it isn't being requested, a bot will try and take it out. The way this works is that when this button is clicked, the silo will first build a rocket, and then it'll request an item that one of the stations above it is requesting, or platforms above it. And then bots will deliver it. And at that point, it'll launch the rocket once it's got a full cargo. And it has to be a full cargo on the rocket. And it won't mix items. It'll only send a single item. So even if you're only requesting one inserter on the platform, the rocket will load an entire rocket's payload worth of inserters and then launch it. And there is something to be aware of there. The stack size of an item is not always the same as the rocket size, how much a rocket can handle. For example, these rockets for your rocket launcher, their stack size is 100, but a rocket can only carry 25. So if I request one stack on a platform, that means it's going to send 4 rockets worth, which might be a lot of resources in order to do. So definitely worth bearing in mind. There we go. Plenty of gubbins. Actually, definitely at this point, I need to make sure that this is like always 150. Because that by itself will take about 120. The two of them together. They use so much jelly, it's painful. Hopefully that answered your question, next row. Right, looking much more healthy up here now. So much healthier. I mean, it's all going to rot because it's got no other use, but it's fine. Right. Okay, so, like I said, I'm going to make a bot mall. Sorry, a belt mall. Bot mall? Maybe a bot mall, maybe. eventually. I probably could, actually. Thinking of it. Right, let's first set up a very basic belt maul. So, actually I'm going to need... Yeah, we only need 6. This is 100% not what we're going to be... where we're going to be building it in the end. I just want something that'll work right now, basically. We want you. We want you. This only requires iron and gears. This only requires iron and that. This only requires iron and that and electronics. So electronics would run down this side. Iron with gears on the belt would run... Oh, actually, no. Iron would only go down this side. Gears would go down this side because over here, these will all require gears. So this one requires that and gears. This one requires that and gears. This one requires this, electronic circuits, and gears. So it's nice and simple. So gears will run down this side, iron will run down there, electronic circuits will run over here. You know what? I probably should just throw together a very, very basic little iron copper doohickey. Yeah, I really should. I should stop being lazy. It's not going to be a proper bus because I'm really going to be lazy about that. However, let's move this up and just pop something about here. I'm going to want sure, we'll get the 5 to make electronic circuits, the 1 to make gears. We'll need iron and copper down here. And we'll want gears about here. This is going to be disgusting, by the way. I'm just warning you. You're going to question your faith in God after you witness the horror that I am about to unleash. Whether or not you were religious to begin with, you'll start believing in God just so that you can question your faith. You're going to be that traumatized. Right, so I need a long-handed inserter to pull from here, from here, from here. I need gears. Just go and grab some. My faith is only in love. I can't tell if where you were going with that, but okay. I'm a little bit concerned. Not gonna lie. There's like been nothing down here for so long. Honestly, I could just allow you to make some... Wait, wrong place. I need that to be here. I'll just pop a little bit of copper into this system so that it can make me some more ammo. So I'll grab some from up here. That'll do. Okay. Now then. Got some belts. We are going to want this to be gears. Copper coil. And electronic circuits. I'll need to deliver iron above. So this is going to have to come down here. Going to branch this point. Also at this. So actually I should move all of this up. That'll save me a bit of time. Yeah. And this will be the iron line. I'm just going to pull it from the chest for now. Copper line. How do I want to do this? Well, honestly, one way I could do it is having iron and copper on this line. I did warn you, it's going to be disgusting what I'm going to do. In order to just get this done quickly. Copper plate can go this way. I love the gooey sound of Gleba. I do too. It's amazing. I have almost 250 hours in the base game, and I've recently acquired the expansion. What would you all recommend as a good resource for making my train network more complicated and start to run on all these cool signals? Basic trains have served me so far, but you've all piqued my curiosity. Son of Hanu. What do you mean a good well, I mean, I guess a good resource. Even basic trains function well with the resources as long as you're looking to set up generic stations so that you have a reason to use interrupt. You know what? Actually, I prefer to do this like this. You might be like, why though? Well, I'll tell you why. It's so I can upgrade. Then I hook these up. So, for example, this enable only if this is below 50. So 1 stack. Oh, copy that across. If this is below 100, so 1 stack of belts, and this is below 50, that way I can just drop my own gubbins in there, and it will filter through and upgrade it for me. It's a nice way of doing it, in my opinion. You have made me sad. Right, so there we go, and I think once these belts are made, we're good to go. Of course, I've got to power it all, but and yeah. Oh, I still need a couple more of these, actually. Let's get some more. Right. Oh, I need to, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 in total. 4, 5. I lied. Sorry, chat. Websites or videos or guides are like, ah, right, okay. Chat can probably help you with that. There are 2 good blog posts for the developer around interrupts that explain them a bit. Otherwise, I've found a few tutorial videos on YouTube, said and Looping Fool. Right. Now, going to want 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay. This stage, we are now producing everything. Huzzah. Belt mall, get. There we go, we're finally using the iron and copper that we're producing, you know, at a reasonable pace. I feel it's a reasonable pace at the very least. Are you not getting the copper glass? Oh my lord. I need to empty them out. Ah, it's late, chat. It's late. And I got a bajillion things I got to do today. Gotta go to the dentist again. Gotta take Tilly to the vet again. I go to Tilly's vet appointment just before I go to the dentist. I might have to leave Tilly in the middle of her vet appointment in order to get to the dentist on time. She'll probably never forgive me if I do. No, inserters can pick up from all sides, but you have to orient them. And it's only orthogonally. They don't pick up diagonally. There we are, chat. We are now officially upgrading. I could probably do with an extra one of these, though. Oop. I need to go and collect some plastic. What do you mean? It's 6 in the morning. I just woke up. Having a different sleep schedule? Preposterous! Say Nexus. Belt automated. Yep. Next up will be inserters. And at that point, we can start expanding proper like. We've got to find somewhere to put a proper bus though. Because right now, this is kind of messy. I mean, strictly speaking, I guess we don't need to, but I kind of want to. We need way more smelters. Even this is producing huge amounts of ore for us. I think maybe I want to increase the amount of Yamako mash on that line. 150 is still there, and it's not being used up that fast, to be fair. There is leaving gaps, though, as a consequence. Which isn't ideal. But, I mean, everything is backed up, so I guess it can't be that bad. Oh my lord, it's been a while since we were able to just do that. In fact, let's just copy this. There we go. That should get everything going. Actually, you don't use them. Neither do you. You do, though. My bad. You use the gears. Yeah, that's fine. Likely still need a bit more production, honestly. But it's like, is there a need to have peak production here? I guess. May as well. Let's hold that up a second. Wow. Delicious. Now let's make one. Wait a second. Delicious. Now let's make one. Okay, yeah, it's starting to rot down here. How much rot are we producing? Not that much, actually. All things considered, not that much at all. How's our power doing? I mean, we are actually pulling now about half of what we're producing, so maybe time for an upgrade? I could do it without too much issue. One, two, three. That will pull the energy out of this a little bit faster, but I don't think it's too much of a problem. I need to make some heat pipes too. But I'll see exactly how many I need. Yep. We're now not producing enough iron. So time for moving the smelting stack up. I mean, it's been that time, honestly, for a while. But now I actually have a visible reason for it, I guess. Close it. Thank you so much for the 15 months, mate. Lots of rot there. Right. Let's get this boiler in place. Where are you? All right. One, two, three, I think. There we go. That nicks the heat pretty aggressively. We are probably going to want to make sure that some runoff exists. I can see how many seeds are available. Now, question here is, what is the best fuel source that I have? Would it be this? 100 megajoules. And to make it, I need what exactly? 30 jelly, 30 water, and 2 bioflux. And 1 jelly is... one megajoule, so that's 30 megajoules in exchange for 100, but you get 4 jellies, so 4 megajoules out of 1 jelly nut, which is 10 megajoules. Yeah, it is actually worth it. It does work out as being slightly worth it. And as Chrisbit mentions, if I'm making it in the biochamber, that comes with a 50% productivity anyway. So each step is multiplying. You're getting compounding productivity out of that. That's actually pretty huge. Good Lord. So I may have been missing something here, in that our spoilage is rather off the charts. Let me sort this out. Hello, Mr. Protein. Let's Someone who figured out power on Gleba yesterday. Let me spare you the trouble. One jelly tree produces 1 megawatt. I see. I spent a lot of time with calculus for my 160 megawatt setup. Fair enough. Honestly, I should probably use these to empty it out. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. We're on the way to Gleba right now. Well, we had full ammo. I guess it's just occasionally we don't quite have the coverage that we need. Because they've got the ammo. We'll see if that can help. Is it viable to use uranium ammunition? I mean, I produce the ammunition on site. It wouldn't be viable in this case. Well, I guess you could, as long as you were loading enough. It would be an option, yeah. Is asteroid spawning affected by station traveling speed? I don't believe more asteroids spawn. However, I believe the asteroids, you have less time to shoot them down because they're moving at you faster. Hey, I am HI. I hear that Bentham made it all the way to Gleba on the community server and has been glebing it large. How big is a pump? 2 tiles. So I'd need to push this 2 tiles further out. That's a tall ask. I'm going to turn off your ability to leave for now. Where is that? There we go. Yeah, I thought as much. I'm gonna have to sacrifice one of those. And that does suck. Rotate that. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm setting a condition on this. Read damage taken. Sends the amount of damage taken by the platform since when travel was started. That will be on the red network. Enable if D is equal to 0. This is only allowed to pump fuel into this engine when we've taken no damage. If we take any damage, this engine will shut down. I'm going to do the same over on this side, and this will give us thrust control. I have lost two accumulators, which I'm not best pleased with. So I am probably going to make a slight adjustment again. To at least have these accumulators here. There we go. Right. So now, this will only turn on if no damage has been received, but I am still stockpiling fuel. Hold on, power poles in space? Yes. Yep. So I can carry circuit wires around. Aavak, you said to remind you to visit the community server. I will do that. We're wrapping up the stream now, so that's a good time to remind me, actually. Now, what I would love to do is add in an extra... extra production down here of fuels. That is not going to fit with what we've got right now. Sadly. I truly would love it if we could, but that is not on the cards just yet. Right, let's have a look at you. Fueling up relatively well. Plenty of reach. Everything still looks good on that side. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to give you back your authorization to begin travel again. And this time, my hope is that we are going to be able to cut the power if we start taking damage. We've got a little ways to go before we've got enough fuel for us to make the move, but it seems that we drink this stuff. Not sure why. You have way too many little turrets up front, in my opinion. Well, considering how many times Pridwen has travelled, it's only been damaged twice, and only then lost one turret and one accumulator in all of that. So I would say I don't. I would say if I cut these engines permanently, we would be absolutely fine. They are quality turrets, yeah. Quality inserters too. Yeah, if I really wanted to, I could simply remove two thrusters and let Peridwen slow boat it between locations. But if I really wanted to, I could add another turret or two other turrets. There's plenty of room here for me to do that. For example, I could have another two right there, or have these two, and then a wall going up the side. Wouldn't be too much of an issue. Though if I were to do that, I would want this to be upgraded. But sure, if you're concerned, I don't mind quickly popping that in for you. Don't mind me just doing a little bit of space redecoration whilst we fly. Where are my turrets? There you go. Hey, Morgulls. Good evening, cyberspace comrades. Hello, J. Kessler. Why? I'm so used to someone else with that. Never mind. I completely misread your name. Put it down to dyslexia and a lack of sleep. Jess Curse. J. Kessler. I haven't seen J. Kessler for a while, actually. But good morning, mate. I'd add a few right at the center, up front. Turrets on the sides waste too much ammo on asteroids that wouldn't hit you anyways. I mean, that's a completely reasonable thing to say, yeah. But I don't want to make the ship that much longer. Someone can play my Gleba for me so I can have fun again. Oh, you're not enjoying Gleba? We've been doing somewhat okay with it. Somewhat. A tiny bit okay. Let's see. Those are in place. Yep, everything seems to be where it needs to be. Actually, Novice, let me see. What awesome gubbins have we found? Show me the magic gubbins grotto. We have got some fast inserters, power poles, miners. No, nothing really grand there. What about you? A lot more stuff at this level. Some smelters, more bots. More modules, quite nice. More quality modules, more turrets, 50 level, uncommon gun turrets. That's quite nice. It's quite nice. Especially considering we're not doing any kind of recycling. Alright, let's go back to Gleba. Can't get a bead on how to design the base, so it doesn't constantly stall out and need manual resetting from spoilage. I know it's a skill issue, but it's absolutely killing me. Well, I can give you a quick tour of my base. It'll be the last thing I do, though, before I jump on to the Dappling community server to have a quick glance at what they're up to, and then head to bed for like 2 hours before I have to go to Tilly's vet appointment. Oh, I see a fellow appreciator of train roundabouts. Verily. Okay, so give me just a second. I'm going to go and grab a quick top-up of drink. I'll only be a moment, so this is not going to be a tea break. And then we'll do a quick tour. Right. Okay, so do you just spam heating towers to burn all the spoilage you pull off? I feel like I'm going to just be a league of chests full of dookie at some point. Well, I'll show you. So we mostly designed this today. Like previous stream, I'd just gotten to Gleba. I set up a few odds and sods, and I had a look at the tech tree, and it was, you know, very interesting. Oh, so never mind. It's just down here. It's nothing too bad. We're all okay. I should probably throw down some laser turrets down here at some point, but it's been a long time since we've been attacked there. Anyway, so pretty much everything I've done today over here. We completely redesigned, rebelted all of the farms, so on and so forth. This is mostly there just for fun. Honestly, the accumulators are useful, but only insofar as it makes me feel like I'm wasting less power. I am using the heating tower though. This was my original rocket silo. Well, not rocket silo, but cargo silo. It did help a fair bit in the beginning, delivering iron and carbon that it was making while in orbit. The ships were making, but the long and short of it is we try to get everything onto belts and peel off any spoilage as often as we can. So down here, we allow them onto this belt if there isn't enough in the system already. That's just a ring. And also including the like dedicated areas. So this is the Yamako mash area. This is the jelly nut area, or the jelly area, I guess. These get fed up here, get turned into bioflux, also kickstart my my bacteria if I should stall out. So these are using the very inefficient like 10% chance recipe. Also make plastic, also make lubricant. That's as far as I've gotten so far. All of this is kind of controlled by circuits, so it checks that it only produces some if it's dropped below a certain threshold, which is currently 150. I'm finding that's working well for me. These are just producing constantly. That cycles through. I've got 2 bioflux to nutrient recipes, and again, these only insert more bioflux if there's actually a need, so it isn't just rotting inside the machines, and that's kind of true of most of this system. Rot is obviously quite a concern when it occurs. The nutrient runs the whole, it's kind of like a snaking way through, and then back up and around. These are filtered splitters, so anything that is in your Mako fruit, which includes seeds, will be dumped back out onto this belt. Those spoilage is dumped upwards, but it just exits a little bit further up the chain. That's the only difference there. So if anything rots on these loops, it will eventually be kicked out onto the main loop, and that one also will peel off any rot out to the side. And that's pretty much true of all of them. They all have that system in there. It's sometimes shifted around a little bit, but it's always there. Rot is first given a priority to be brought down here, and because it doesn't decay, I use it as a bootstrap. Should, for some reason, my nutrients ever run down, then I will try and use my my biochamber to produce more out of rot or spoilage. However, if that has run out, if the nutrients inside that have also broken down, I do have an assembler as a backup plan. So this is the backup for my backup plan. Is if this can't kickstart the process for some reason, then this one at least can. And there's always a way to get nutrients back on this on the system somehow, as long as there's rot, and there's always enough of that. But otherwise, rot is sent down here. It's joined up by eggs from the... this is just running permanently, pretty much. As long as this has eggs, it will run indefinitely. Nutrients will constantly be fed in, and the eggs will be kicked out. I don't want to have to faff around with like timers or anything like that here. So... because you could use combinators to very carefully measure the timing and then dump the eggs out before it's too late. But basically, the eggs and all of the spoilage gets fed down to this heat tower, and it's just running to heat exchangers with 4 turbines. So I'm getting a decent amount of power out of this, actually, potentially up to 23.7 megawatts. And then as for the bacteria, if, you know, assuming it needs to kickstart, that will be sent up here along with bioflux and nutrients. Comes along here. Iron ore or iron bacteria get fed up here to kickstart this process. Copper, everything else, which is just copper ore, gets fed this side. Only these two are really being checked for the presence of bacteria, but realistically the entire belt is as well. So effectively, if I have ore or bacteria on the belts or in these 2 chambers, then it's not going to try and kickstart. It'll wait until my iron or copper production has stalled before it kickstarts the process, which I will possibly change later, but right now I'm just trying to work my way out of a massive backlog that I built up, which kind of killed me for a little while. I've just built up a little mall, little belt mall. It's about the only thing that I'm using my iron or copper for at the moment automatically. I do have a tiny little manual setup over here to produce red circuits, because I was just too lazy to do them pocket crafting for the odd couple of things I wanted. As for the farms themselves, they're actually being fed information via radar, which is all the way down here, that is counting the availability of the fruits and the seeds and all of that. So these will only turn on if there's less than 25 of their respective fruit available. Then they activate and will harvest, and they'll typically dump like 200 or 300 items of fruit onto the belts before the first 25 hit the belts over here and shut them down again. Likewise, these are all controlled by the presence of your Mako mush and these for jelly in this loop, except for the first one in each case. These are controlled by seeds. If I don't have... like, if I've got less than 1 stack of seeds in the farm, then this will be permanently be turned on. It doesn't care if there's jelly on the belt. It's only active to make sure that there are seeds. Likewise, with this one, it's only active if there's less than 10 seeds for Yumako trees. In which case, it will run until there's more than 10. Or 10 or more, rather. So yeah. I hope that's helped. Do machines auto-expel spoilage if it spoils in size? Not automatically. You do need inserters to pull that out, yeah. You can also use belt braiding if you want to. I don't, because I don't like the practice. Like, I feel it's a bit cheesy, but you can absolutely do it. I've got no opinion on whether someone else uses that method. It's just it doesn't satisfy me. It doesn't give me aesthetically pleasing designs, so I don't. But if you have any questions or anything I can do to clarify the designs I've got here or anything like that, then do feel free to ask before I hop onto the community server. Yeah, and to put it into perspective, my entire base is running off 2 barely active farms. I mean, this is a very nice farm spot, don't get me wrong, but it harvests like 4 trees every now and then. Same down here. This one is a little bit more aggressive because, you know, there's much less grown land, so you don't see these massive forests, but yeah. Am I going to upgrade those yellow belts? Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I will absolutely do that. I'm just not going out of my way to do it just yet. They were only yellow because I had nothing else at the time to use. So that is the be-all end-all of that one. Belt braiding is... Well, let me quickly show you. I don't mind showing you. Belt braiding is the fact that different colored belts don't interact with undergrounding. So, this... Actually, it should be 2 apart. Oh, no, I want it to be 3. And this... do not interact. So, you notice how they basically skip over the belts in between? Even though, you know, realistically... They should be interacting. They should be colliding. So if I were to place something on this belt here, you're only going to see it pop out on the yellow sides. So, plunk. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Bots are floaty. Floaty light. Oh, actually, I popped that in the wrong place, didn't I? There we go. Not on the red, only on the yellows. It's super useful for some incredibly condensed designs. I just don't like it for the same reason I don't like the, you know, 5 grams of liquid make an impenetrable liquid lock that can hold back several tens of thousands of kilos of gas in oxygen not included. I just feel it's cheesy. Let me go and grab the dropped off production modules. I'm going to go and insert them in the correct places. And then finally, we're going to go and check out the community server. But, you know, if you're struggling and that's the only way you can find to make something work, and otherwise you're not enjoying the game right now because you are constantly fighting it, games are meant to be fun. Play it however you get the most fun. For me, I get a lot more fun out of challenging myself, and I really do mean that, like, literally, like, not haha, I'm gonna do something hard that I know I can do so that I can show off that I did it. Honestly, the more likely I am to be able to to do something, the less inclined I am to do it. I am legendarily lazy. Give me a puzzle to solve, and I will be dreaming about it until I've solved it. And so finding elegant solutions that don't rely on cheese is effectively a puzzle that I latch onto as this is going to be fun to do. And the more you know, of a literal challenge, the harder it is, the more fun I get out of it. And that's just a me thing. Again, I very much strongly feel that when it's a single player game, or as long as it's multiplayer and everyone is playing by the same rules, it doesn't matter how you play, as long as you're having fun, because the whole purpose of the game is for you to enjoy yourself. And if that's giving yourself, you know, no clip and the ability to fly in Valheim, then you do you. That would bore me to tears, but if that's how you find more enjoyment, please, by all means. And don't let anyone tell you you're not allowed to enjoy it the way you want to. Right, I think we're good. He likes Struggle City. Yeah, it's because it's right next to Snuggle City. Do a bit of struggle, do a bit... Wait, no. Okay, let's walk this back. Let's pretend that my brain wasn't tired and I was thinking at least 2 steps ahead of where anything I say could inevitably be taken. Okay, let's walk this all back. All right. In my head, it was this wholesome. Yeah, you know, you work hard, and then you get to relax in a massive big cuddle pile. But no, I know chat's gonna take it in a different direction, because you're horrible people. When it involves me and being able to mock me, you are horrible people. God. Right, anyway. On that note, we're going to wrap up the stream here. I think we have done some really good work here on Gleba. I am terrified of the big stompers. Well, the small big stompers, actually. We need to get steel production up and running. I very much want to set up a big array of smelters, like a long array of smelters. We want a long array of steel smelters as well. Once we have that, then I can start looking into setting up piercing ammo. Fairly easy thing. We'll probably throw together a very similarly, you know, just janky little maul for inserters, as we've done here for belts. And using that, I will start to properly expand out some proper smelting arrays, get a bus going, and then get some production. However, we're not going to need as much. Like, we've got some great shortcuts through effectively a completely renewable resource. The fact that we're going to be able to go all like straight up to rocket fuel relatively simply is wild. And I would very much like to get trains on the go. I think they would be a much better delivery system than belts for the farm produce. Just have a train. Swing by, pick stuff up, swing by, pick stuff up from down here. For that, I'm going to need elevated rails, so I'm probably going to need to get some degree of science being done over here. We actually already have everything we need for agricultural science. I just don't have a way of sending it up. I need a rocket that can send the agricultural science up to Pridwen, for Pridwen to take it over to Novis to actually be used. That being said, I guess I could do some of the science here. I guess I'm in no rush to do that. I think the intention is for me to take it from here to Novis, if for no other reason than it very clearly rots. And so, unless their expectation is to say, hey, we're going to make this rot so that you are forced to bring stuff over here, and I can't really see why they would do that. Instead, I think the idea is to give you a puzzle to solve. And again, coming back to my joy of solving puzzles, I think the puzzle to solve here is making sure that you can use the material. Produce it, launch it, transport it, deploy it, and research it in the time you have before it rots. So I think, honestly, with the science, it may legitimately be a case of we are going to want to try and push for high quality science so it has a longer rot time. I could ship the research to Gleba as well, but that, again, like I was saying, Duffelfish, I don't think that's their intention. I think their intention is for us to take stuff to Novus. So that's what I'm going to try and work on anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've managed to get done. We've got production of iron, we've got production of copper. Not very much, but, you know, we have it. We will get production of steel up and running. We have incredibly slight production of plastic presently. I suspect we're going to want a lot more of that. Though this does produce 3.98 a second, which is actually, to be fair, quite a lot. I still think we're probably going to want to expand this out a little bit. But that is a lot of production of plastic, I will say. That is a decent output. Getting maybe another 2 would be enough. Of course, we have this mess over here that I can't really get around, so I may need to scooch some things across in order to fit that in, but we'll see what we can do with that. However, that is going to be it for our run here on Gleba for today. Now, I do believe I promised everyone that we would go ahead and get a quick glimpse of the community server. So let's go and do that, shall we? Goodbye, Gleba. Rocks are limited on Gleba, so might need to ship in Mill and Purple Science if having labs on Gleba. That's a good point, actually, yeah. Although, I mean, you go out far enough and you get plenty of stone deposits. It's just kind of dotted around the marsh. Right, let's jump onto the community server and see how things are going then. Right. Let's see what the Dapplings have been up to. Graveyard of the Magi clones. Well done. Oh, they've pushed out a... got a couple of little bits. Oh, some radars down there, powered by solar. Same over here. Okay, just getting a bit of exploration going on. Over here too. Okay, I like it. This is a rail world with Death World biter settings. So we've got... the biters will actually, you know, repopulate areas. The nests are a little bit bigger. Well, I mean, this isn't, you know, super Death World, but certainly it is a little bit more than Railworld usually is. Expansion point over there, apparently. We've got the all-important Gubbins Grotto, most important part of the server. Road train. We've got the smelting stacks, some initial mines. The starting area was large on this one. Especially because we had more dangerous biter settings. It was believed that it would be best to set this up because with a community server, you don't know how familiar people are, and sometimes with Death World settings, you can end up with biter nests right on top of necessary resources. So the first people on might have just polluted a little bit and then got raffle stomped. We've got a train set up, but not going anywhere yet. I guess the idea is to grab copper over there, perhaps? No, actually, this is gathering Sulfuric. Oh, they're looking to harvest probably uranium then. I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'm going to guess that that is for harvesting uranium at some point. So, oil refinery, bits of gubbins. We've got our cargo pad. And the rocket over here. Right, let's have a look. So, we've got bases on Gleba and Falgora. PTV Kestrel. Stopped at Falgora. The Benthamobile. Stopped at Novus. And Scientific Outpost Alpha. Very humble. Super humble, in fact. Let's have a look at the Benthamobile. I see. I see. Okay, I think the Benthamobile may have been taken out and brought back and stripped down. Can we show the blue circuit production line? I can certainly show it. I didn't put it up though, but so it's not my production line. If it's particularly good, then all credit goes to whoever built it. If I can even find the bloody thing. Where are blue circuits being gotten? You know, I'm not seeing. Okay, so logistic mall over there. I'm terribly sorry. I am not seeing it. I haven't logged in at all today, and when I left this morning, it was basically steam turbines. We'd just gotten a stable production of iron ore and copper ore. So almost all of this has been built since I was last here. Yeah, we haven't got any here. Only advanced and green. What research are we up to? Oh, we're not actually using much. Oh, it's called processing unit. My bad. There we are. Okay. Yeah, there's literally just that. So, I'm gonna say that production of this is exceedingly slight and is on a just-in-time production paradigm. This is glorious. I love it and I hate it. I love it and I hate it. Looks like, what's the minimum amount of crud we need to strap to a rocket to leave? Yeah, no, that is exactly what this is. This is very clearly, get me to space. Let's have a look at the BTV Kestrel. Actually quite nice. Fuel weaving. This is a very decent little craft. Very, very compact. I like it. See, this is what goes through my mind when people are like, "Oh, that ship won't do," when looking at the Pridwen, and I'm like, I see people make these tiny ships. I don't think you need massive ships to do anything. I think people are being overcautious. I think I was overcautious with the Pridwen, if I'm honest. This seems to be doing plenty good. You heard of Just in Time, now trialing the new and exciting Just After the Nick of Time. Yeah, pretty much. Good night, Bubbles. You have a wonderful sleep. Right, let's have a look at Falgora. What have you got going on down here then? You've got things and stuffs. Oh, wow. This kind of looks amazing, actually. Okay, I'm not going to look too deep at this because this is like spoiler territory for me, but it looks very Frankensteinian. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, I see a lot of like, yeah, just don't use all of the power because basically it's down to the whims and whimsy of nature whether we have any. I kind of like that. Borealis Prospecting Group Resource Recovery Operation. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at Bentham's Gleba base. So we've got production going on here pretty much at constant rate. All the seeds all the time. All of the fruit all the time. And then all the way down here we've got not very much of the same. I think this place might not have as much availability. Yeah, I think these are still growing. It's a much smaller patch. That said... Oops. Let me jump back to that. I apologize. I was just trying to clear that. So we've got mash coming in here. Seeds going back immediately. That being processed into nutrients, which are feeding these. And also feeding the iron bacteria down here. Copper bacteria over here. These are pulling out any copper and loading it onto this belt, which then loads it these are set up for steel presently, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but anyway, extra mash continues on down. This makes copper bacteria, as we mentioned. This is a bootstrap, so this is an assembler that will produce nutrients. The mash goes in for making the bioflux. Bioflux immediately making plastic. Also making sulfur. Some decay in there being used. Attempt no landing here. Or attempt no landing there. I see. I like it. Everything's like, all these worlds are yours except Gleba. I love the reference. For those of you who might not get it, it is Space Odyssey. All these worlds are yours except for Europa. Attempt no landing there. So Bentham is then using pretty much anything he's got access to, including the mash at this point, to run a heat tower to fuel these turbines. Okay. Also, if the temperature is below 900, this will yonk stuff like jelly and rot from these chests up. I can't do that, Dave. Indeed. I would laugh so hard if someone actually came over here and plonked down a display saying, "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't let you do that." As for this, it's kind of very squirrely, but I like it. So, excess rot coming down from here. So that's the nutrients for all of these. That's being loaded through here, cycling through and up. Down there, okay. So jelly nuts come through, get turned into jelly in one place. Again, another bootstrap for producing... Oh, actually, no, this isn't a bootstrap. This is just straight up making all of the nutrients for this. There is a little setup for making eggs, but it has stalled, it seems. Yeah, I suspect that it was making... All of the eggs were being turned into... Oh yeah, I think maybe what happens here is when Bentham wants more of these, he just pops some eggs in and it just starts churning out the biochambers. That kind of makes sense, yeah. So jelly goes through here, making iron bacteria, stockpiling it, but also using it for the iron bacteria replication recipe. Feeds through, feeds the decay back up, being used to fuel the furnaces. A lot of this seems to be hand delivered. There's the copper furnace over there. Yeah, production of red circuits as well, much the same as I had. Yeah, I like it. It is very jank, but in the best possible way. Alright. Have a look at Castrol once more. 30 seconds of inactivity. Yeah, I should probably switch over put a Dwen to that as well, if I'm honest. Alright, but that is going to be it, chat. We have done the tour of the community server. We have done the Glebering on the single player. So all that remains now is for me to say goodbye. It has been a pleasure, as always it is. It has been an 11.5-hour stream, as often these Factorio streams seem to be for me. And I am going to be going and getting some rest before I have to take Tilly to the vet. So, no long, teary goodbye from us for today. If you do have some Twitch watching left in you, though, hang tight and I'll see if I can find someone for us to raid. But if not, or if you're watching this after the fact over on Aavak After Hours, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you're enjoying. And I hope to see you in one of the streams at some point. But that shall be it from me for now. Take care, everyone.